Let me just tell everybody what happened to me. All right, so I was asked to babysit a dog, right? So I'm babysitting this dog, and it turns in, now I'm no longer babysitting the dog. I actually own the dog. So every day we go for our walk, and we would go for our walk. He kept running into this lady's yard, and she says, hey, I'm going to call somebody on you. And next thing I know, they're coming, they're trying to take my dog. And you know what ends up happening? So I go to sleep. And when I go to sleep, I wake up, right? And it's because there was this tornado that blew through. And then when I walk outside my house, I see underneath the house, there's some lady, the house landed on her, and she had on red shoes. And all these people start saying, come out wherever you are. And I was just like, what? And then this lady comes down in a pink dress. And this other weird lady comes in and says, those are my sister's shoes. Yes. And then this lady in the pink dress, guess what she does? She puts the shoes on my feet, and she tells me, these shoes must be very important because this lady wants them. And you know what I told her? I said, but legally, isn't she entitled to the shoes? Because she says this is her sister. I'm not in her sister's will. He's calling 2020 CR 2272, State of Texas versus Megan Hayes Wilhite. Can I have parties announced? Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? Are you the same Megan Hayes Wilhite who was placed on community supervision in 2020 CR 2272 for the offense of burglary of a habitation force on August 29, 2022 for a term of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Megan Hayes Wilhite, then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of April, June, and July 2023 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Trueness.
Thank you, Judge. So this is going to be on the first amended motion to revoke. It's violated condition number 1 on or about the 26th day of September 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Megan Hayes Wilhite, committed the offense of theft in violation of condition number 1.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violations 4 and 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison? Did you understand that? And up to a $1,500 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations 4 and 1? Court will find violations 4 and 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, Your Honor, we were going to go open to the court. The state was going to recommend 6 years TDC.
All right, so the state is asking for 6 years defense?
Judge, I don't know if you just sworn. Can I have my client testify briefly?
Yes. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Megan Hayes Wilhite.
All right.
Megan.
Just one moment. All right. Who are these on the docket? The people who are allowed in are defendants. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I understand the state is recommending prison.
Yes, ma'am.
You in court essentially the same.
Yes.
Why?
Opportunity. I haven't been able to kind of help when it came to having. I really do want the opportunity to be able to get clean. I think it's about time that the safety would be a reasonable option for me to be able to get clean and do the best I can.
First start using marijuana.
When I was about 14, 15, and
When did you start using meth?
methamphetamine's about 32 years old.
How old are you now?
38.
Have you ever received any, in regards to the reporting, you didn't report those months? Why?
I did not have a vehicle, and I had my phone, everything, all of my email addresses and everything had been changed up. I had no way to, and I was just scared to go up to the probation office at that point. I already knew that I had MTR'd, and I was just scared.
Okay. Your probation at any time, and they would have helped you and probably assisted you in getting your identification and that type of stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you didn't do that, right?
No, sir.
So you were placed on probation when, like last year, or because you don't want to use methamphetamine?
Most definitely not.
Ask me.
State, any questions?
Just a couple, Your Honor. Ms. Woolhite, you did have an opportunity to review the court summary, is that correct?
Yes.
And did you see here that this isn't your first MTR?
Yes, sir.
And you didn't go?
I don't think that the outpatient was available at that time. They had told me that I was taking classes, but that wasn't. I guess in the, how would I explain this? They had me doing certain things at a certain time, and the outpatient wasn't at that time that I was going. I was going to classes downtown, but it wasn't treatment.
You were going to downtown.
I was going to the theft classes.
All right, so what are you saying happened with outpatient treatment?
I hadn't gone to the outpatient treatment yet.
All right, why not?
I had been working and I didn't have time to do it at that time. I hadn't been able to make time yet.
All right, so this is what I'm trying to get to. One, was outpatient treatment ordered for you, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you do outpatient treatment, yes or no?
No, ma'am.
What is your reason for not doing outpatient treatment?
I was, like I said, I was working at the time. I didn't have the time at that period of time. I was going to be making time for it, but I did not have the time at that period of time.
All right. Because that outpatient treatment wasn't available when the state was questioning you. Did I hear that incorrectly?
No, ma'am. No, not that it wasn't available. Is whenever I was with Ms. Martha Reyna, we were setting everything up. She had me doing the classes at that time, and I hadn't been able to do the outpatient treatment yet. Not that it wasn't available, because it was for the outpatient treatment.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
No, Judge. No, Judge.
All right. Probation.
Yes, Your Honor.
What is probation requesting?
Your Honor, is the recommendation on the court summary is if she is not revoked, then to send her to safe P. I would like to point out this is for spouses, but they were never completed. So at least we don't have records that they were complete.
All right. Anything else from your side?
Just for sure.
All right. Then I'll hear arguments. State you are requesting 6 years.
Yes, Judge.
Is there anything you wish to add?
Judge, it's just she's been given plenty of opportunities to attend treatment. Even when answering the questions on treatment today, she didn't really give an answer other than she didn't have the time to do it. She's been given chance after chance. That's why the state's recommending time in TDC.
All right. Defense.
Judge, the purpose of probation is to rehabilitate individuals. I understand this is Ms. Wilhide's second MTR, but if it's not successful, she'll be back here and you send her to 10 years TDC. So we're just asking for that opportunity to try to get her the treatment so she doesn't continue to use methamphetamines.
All right. Anything else from you, Ms. Wilhite? All right, Ms. Wilhite. The problem is, it appears that you have started things, but you have finished nothing. And the problem is, you were given a chance at outpatient treatment and you didn't take advantage of it. I could understand if you did outpatient treatment and it wasn't working. This is not what they're addressing. Judge, I have a drug problem. Can you help me with that? Judge, I have mental health issues. Can you help me with that? We have an open door policy here. You can always come in and ask for that. But you haven't taken advantage of that. I'm going to grant the motion and revoke you. The state is asking for 6. Defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're asking for 4.
All right, I'll sentence you to 5 years in the prison to be paid to. So did they ever put in any amounts of restitution that were due? To do something with that later, they will have to take it up as a civil matter or somewhere else, but this court is not going to put it in the orders because I don't have anything. There's still to be no contact with the complainants that are previously listed. And let me write those down. If you would like, what I can do is I can recommend for you the therapeutic community. I am not in charge of whether or not they give you or place you in the program. You'll have to still request it, even though I put it on the form, pleaded the therapeutic community. We're going to keep her. That's not the way it works. It's just there for you while you're there. Would you like that? All right, so I'll order therapeutic community. You're still going to have to ask for it, okay? I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is not a plea bargain agreement, you do have a limited right to appeal, and that right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on probation. And state has tendered dismissals in the misdemeanor cases that are pending. All right, is there anything else? All right, good luck to you, okay? You're welcome. Ryan, I'll show you what a PSI looks like. And it gives you information and whether or not they have AKAs. Sometimes AKA is not necessarily somebody who's saying, oh, my name is, I'm sorry, just one second. Hello? Never spam call. All right. So sometimes, you know how when you watch television shows and somebody's name is Big Bear or whatever, sometimes the AKA is merely that. Say, for example, if somebody's name is John Doe, and on all the paperwork it says John Doe, but it comes out that it's John Doe III, they'll put an AKA as John Doe III, even though that's his real name. And then it'll give you their age and everything, and where they were born. It'll give you all of this. And a lot of this they get from going into the system. And DPS has a SID number, and their county has their own SID number. And you get your FBI number as well. And then it'll tell you here whether they acknowledge guilt or minimize guilt or didn't discuss. When I was a defense attorney, I would always tell my clients, it's best that you not discuss. And it would depend on what type of case it was. Some cases you're saying, hey, you need to really accept responsibility. But some cases, and here, this is the juvenile history, and it'll go all the way down to the other history. And then it'll tell you what happens in each case. So you'll see here what happened. And then it'll even tell you if somebody's been in federal custody or not. No, this just means that it's continued from this page. Yeah, no problem. All right, and then you have this. And it'll tell you how many felonies they've had, how many community supervision. And community supervision just means probation. And there are different types. Community supervision by itself is you got a conviction but you're on probation. Deferred adjudication is a form of community supervision. It's just one with a conviction. And then it'll tell you the number of misdemeanors and how many convictions for misdemeanors. And then it'll tell you this. Then they're saying you had a criminal history in Bear County and Comal County. And then they'll tell you the first age of conviction, whether or not there's any gang affiliation. A lot of times I'll ask people about their tattoos because one, I'm interested in their tattoos. And usually when you have people talk about things that they're passionate about, they open up and it can help me make decisions on what conditions they need. But sometimes tattoos are associated with gangs. And so it'll let you know if there's a victim associated with it. Yes. All right. And then who is the victim, right? And then they'll give you the name. Usually with this part, I always want to know what the restitution is. Sometimes people don't send in receipts. You just can't say, oh, I'm owed $4,000. People are like, where's the receipt for that? So you're not allowed to do that. You have to give receipts. And then this is where they try to contact the complainant. Where they're saying they have been unsuccessful in contacting them, which that person should be easy to contact, but they're saying they having problems contacting them. So this one, they're saying it's $5,700. Now, once that's entered, people can object to it and say they want a hearing on it, and then I'll make a decision on whether it should really be that. And yes. So then they say, blending the paint, the door, is how much all of this costs. And then they'll say psychological evaluation, any mental health issues. They'll, they're employed. Then they put in, whether or not they have military service. And then they'll give you a narrative. And a narrative would just be from the defendant's perspective. And they'll just ask, where were you born? Tell us about yourself. That's what that is. And the official version, to make sure that the PSI reports are prepared quicker than they usually were. Some of the judges decided, look, you don't need to put the official version in, it's just the police reports, because we already have that. We just read it in the stipulations. So usually they'll put the narrative in, because when they put the official version in, they have to go in and get those police reports, read them, and then put it in there. And so this just makes it easier. And so that's it.
You're kidding.
And so, yeah. So yeah, that's what this is all about.
And each person gets one?
Yes, everyone. Well, it depends. For example, sometimes the state is silent, and when they're silent, I just really need to see what their criminal history is. So I ask them to run an NCITCIC so I can see what the criminal history is, and then maybe I can make my decision on that, and they can bring in witnesses. Because if I did not, what would end up happening is that would be another long case waiting for all of this information to come. Yeah. Sure, you're welcome.